Oxford is one town where the City Council have been debating free speech. They've just decided to allow a pro-fascist organisation to hold a meeting in the town hall in the near future, exactly like other bodies. Councillor Ferguson, a Conservative, supported an unsuccessful resolution by a Labour alderman to stop the meeting.
Well, my idea in seconding the motion of Alderman Pickstock that they should be stopped using the town hall was merely to prevent them using municipal premises for this sort of purpose. It was in no way intended to diminish their rights of freedom of speech.
But what right have you got as a town council to exercise censorship over what people say in a town hall, which is after all a public building and paid for by the ratepayers?
Well, I don't take the view, although the rest of the council, most of the rest of the council disagree with me, that we should stop them having the right of free speech. My personal view is that they ought not to exercise this right in the town hall.
But why not?
Because the town hall has been used by them in the past. They were extremely violent before the war when they used it, and there were some very ugly and brutal scenes.
Lady Townsend, what view did you take of all this?
I took the view that the Estates Committee of the City Council was justified in letting the town hall to this organisation under certain conditions.
But what are the conditions you thought ought to be laid down?
The Estates Committee laid down the conditions that the town hall should be insured, this insurance cover to have been gone into by the town clerk, and they said that there should be 2 policemen on the door paid for by this organisation.
Mrs. Gibbs, would you have been in agreement with the town hall being let to these people, even if you knew that they were going to preach sedition and encourage people to revolt and all the rest of it?
Even if we knew that sedition was going to be preached, well, we don't know that sedition is going to be preached. And presumably, if sedition is preached, it will be a matter for the police and for the law. It's certainly not a matter for the City Council.
Well, the traditional liberal argument about free speech always sets some limits to freedom. There should be no sedition, no blasphemy, and no indecency or something like that. Well, it seems to me that these are out-of-date sins, and that preaching of racial hatred is something where there ought to be the line drawn. And I don't see why we should give the fascists the right to preach racial hatred in the town hall.
But surely this is very dangerous, Frank, because the town hall is the people's hall. And you're going to establish a very dangerous precedent if you say the town hall cannot be let to people whose views the City Council don't share or whose views the City Council actively dislikes.
Both of you belong to the same party, don't you?
Yes, we do.
But we as the City Council are the guardians of this building, and it's up to us. We're elected for this purpose. We're expected to exercise our judgment about what we think right and proper, and it seems to me this is where we have a duty to exercise a judgment, where one thinks that in this case freedom of speech or the use of the town hall for a public meeting of this kind would be against public general interest.
Isn't that what you're just denying, freedom of speech? Aren't you going on the way to being totalitarian?
But everyone accepts that there shall be some limits to the freedom of speech. All that I'm saying is that the preaching of racial hatred is not banned at the moment. It ought to be.
In Birmingham, the town hall has been the scene of many famous meetings, often riotous. Much argument about who has the right to use it has been stirred up by the recent meeting held there by Sir Oswald Mosley. Mr. Lord Mayor, that town hall behind us is the symbol and centre of democracy in Birmingham. Do you think it's right to have let Sir Oswald Mosley, who would like to destroy democracy, hold a meeting in it?
Yes, I think it's quite right that I should have given permission for that hall to be used. An essential of democracy is free speech. If we don't allow free speech to those with whom we don't agree, as well as to those we do agree, free speech would be destroyed. There's an interesting story I could tell you that in 1901, Lloyd George, who at that time was pro-Boer, held a meeting in Birmingham under the auspices of the Liberal Party, and the Conservatives at that time campaigned for that meeting to be stopped. The meeting, as you know, created considerable disorder in this city, but nevertheless, free speech, the right of free speech was upheld. Very interesting sidelight on this is that in 1921, Lloyd George was made a freeman of this city.
Not the same thing isn't going to happen to Sir Oswald Mosley.
I hope not.
But was there a disturbance when you held the meeting here, or they had the meeting here?
With Oswald Mosley?
Yes, the other day.
There was a very slight disturbance caused by those who were opposed to his point of view.
Do you think the Lord Mayor was right?
Yes, I do.
Why do you
I'm
think
in favour
so?
of free speech.
But even from people who don't believe in it themselves?
Yes, quite correct, yes.
What do you think about it?
I also agree with that point of view. If we are to have free speech in this country, then we must hear what other people have to say. And any attempt to stop the other point of view is bad.
What do you think about it?
I agree with the Lord Mayor. As a democracy, we shouldn't even be asking this question whether he should be allowed. He should just be allowed.
Councillor Thomas, why do you think it was all right to have let Mosley use the town hall?
Well, I think Mosley's entitled to express his views, though we may not agree with them. It would have given Mosley much more publicity to ban the town hall than he would have got by using the town hall. And I think the people who are so concerned about Mosley having the use of the town hall and would ban him would not be half as concerned to ban the communists using the town hall. To me, it seems to be a little difference between the communists and the fascists. I think they're very inconsistent. I think that both communism and fascism are anti-democratic, and therefore it's inconsistent to oppose one and not the other.
Miss Wright, you're a councillor who opposed Sir Oswald Mosley being allowed the use of the hall. Why did you do that?
The reason I did that was because I don't feel it's at all an ordinary case of a political party using a hall to put forward its own political case. I feel that whereas if Mosley were putting forward the case for a different economic setup, a different form of government or organisation in the country, he should be allowed the town hall or any other buildings. But where he is doing very little other than putting forward the case for racial hatred, for where he has been advocating, he and his party have been advocating persecution of minorities, where they have caused a considerable amount of trouble in other parts of the country, I feel that then we certainly should not be prepared to allow them our civic halls.
Alderman Meadows, you're chairman of the Estates Committee responsible for looking after the town hall. Was any damage done at this Mosley meeting?
No damage at all.
Was there any sort of disturbance or danger of damage?
There was a disturbance, but I don't think it would have happened at all if the people, particularly the Trades Council, had accepted the Lord Mayor's appeal to stay away from the meeting. I think they went there deliberately to cause trouble.
Mr. Varnum, you're president of the Trades Council. Do you want to stop communists holding meetings in the town hall who want to establish a dictatorship?
It's correct, I am president of the Trades Council, but we do not want to stop communists holding the town hall. We believe in the right of any political party to have the freedom of speech in our town hall.
Then why did you want to stop Sir Oswald Mosley having a meeting there then?
We want to stop, and it was a unanimous decision of my council. Well, it's not true to say unanimous, there was one against, that we should oppose the letting of the town hall, and I led a deputation to the Lord Mayor to get him to change his decision in relation to letting the town hall to Mosley, because everywhere that Mosley has held meetings there has been trouble and disorder.
Do you think it was all right to have let Sir Oswald Mosley use the town hall to hold a meeting the other day?
Oh, definitely.
You do? Yes. You don't object to the things he was saying and so on?
Well, there are other people who have meetings in various other parts of the city and say objectionable things, very probably. So why not Sir Oswald Mosley? Let's hear what he's got to say.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I think that a safety valve is always necessary, and the bigger the clot, the bigger the safety valve necessary.
Do you think Sir Oswald Mosley ought to have been allowed to use the town hall? Do you?
Of course, I mean, we don't know much about anything like that. Yes, I should say so. He's entitled to use it like anyone else.
Do you think Sir Oswald Mosley should have been allowed to use the town hall?
Well, I believe in free speech.
You don't mind what people say?
Well, I mean, as long as you're not going to have the hooliganism there that seems to be at all of his meetings.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can dispense with that, then they should give him free speech, yes, definitely.
But do you think that people ought to be allowed to use the town hall who
Yes.
themselves don't want to have other people using free speech if they get power?
Yes.
You think that's all right?
Yes.
Why do you think it's all right?
Well, Mum say if it's free speech, Mum say it's what the country's meant for, isn't it?